Jane Lynch, one of my favorite human beings. Welcome to DBL. I have loved you since Best in Show and the Christopher Guest movies. I can't wait to talk with you all about Hollywood Game Night. But first, I've got to ask you, how's quarantine for Jane Lynch? You loving it? You hating it?
I'm a homebody, so it hasn't been any hardship. It's kind of how I live, and now I just feel less guilty about it.
Yeah, me too.
And I go on Twitter for far too long and watch my news shows and read a book, and it's kind of how I live.
All right, let's talk Hollywood Game Night. You're hosting from home for a special social distancing episode. Tons of stars will also be playing from home.
We are going to play a little game, not for points, called Put a Finger Down. And I know that sounds dirty, but it isn't.
Is there one celeb who really brings their A game, like every time?
Well, Kristen Bell and Sean Hayes have been on the show multiple times, and you know, Sean Hayes created the show, so he should be good at it. And they're really great. John Legend has been on several times, and he's on this episode. Nick Jonas is a first-timer on this particular show, and he does a great job. And we did it from their homes. I hosted it from my home, and it was like having a party. So we had a really good time. We raised a lot of money for Red Nose Day, which, as you know, we have done 2 previous Red Nose Day shows.
You recently reunited with your fellow Glee cast on Zoom, which is such an iconic show. I heard that you originally only started as a guest star. How did Sylvester come to be a regular?
Sylvester was not in the original pilot episode, and it was the guy who was head of Fox at the time, Kevin Riley, who said, "You need a villain." And that's when Ryan Murphy said, her name will be Sylvester and she will be played by Jane Lynch. So I hold on to that. Man. Something that really happened.
That's unbelievable. That's amazing. You're in the new Netflix series Space Force, also starring Steve Carell. I can't wait for this.
The president is creating a new branch, Space Force, which Mark will run.
What? You play the chief of naval operations, but how do you think you would cut it as a member of the Space Force, Lynch, in real life?
You know, what's funny about the show is that it's not really defined, just like it's not really defined in the president's mind either. So, you know, I would try to be a team player, just like everybody else on Space Force. And poor Steve Carell's character has to lead this and kind of decide what the mission is and try not to waste the taxpayers' money. And he takes it as seriously as he can, although it starts out as a joke and probably ends up as a joke.
Thank you, Jane. It was such a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. And thanks for being a great improviser.
Oh, you bet. Thank you.